Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Neng Winda Hamidah. My ID number is 17212220 and 82. This video is made for the requirement of my final project depend for seminar proposal course. My final project is under title EFL Student Perception of Using Google Classroom in Online Learning During Pandemic COVID-19, a case study of senior high school student. As we know, since the beginning of 2020, there has been an outbreak of coronavirus pandemic. This situation has affected various sectors, including education. The pandemic coronavirus is forcing educational institutions in Indonesia to shift rapidly to distance and online learning. In this situation, teacher and student made changes of teaching learning process. Online learning is widely used as media that support education, particularly in learning during pandemic, by utilizing e-learning. One of the online learning platform which is widely used especially in many schools in Indonesia for support to online learning is use Google Classroom. Google Classroom is invited part of education and it is considered possibilities. So this research focus on the use of Google Classroom in online learning as online platform, especially in student perception. And the gap in this research is there is limited studies of using Google Classroom as online media in coronavirus pandemic context. And the part of this research are online learning, Google Classroom, student perception, and COVID-19 outbreak. For the formulation of the research is what are the EFL student perception toward the use Google Classroom in online learning. By employing this formula, the researcher expert to know about the student perception of using Google Classroom in online learning. And research at knowing the student perception of using Google Classroom as online media in online learning during COVID-19 outbreak. And the next is about significance of the research. The first one is theoretical use. This finding of this study can be used as input for educational institution in the framework, improve the quality of education and as teacher motivation in increasing learning activity, especially in choosing suitable technology for e-learning. And for empirical use, this study can contribute to show empirical understanding of how student perception of using Google Classroom in online learning. And for practical use, this study can contribute to enrich the teaching media and choosing suitable technology for e-learning as learning media to maximize online learning in the COVID-19 situation. And the next chapter is about literature review. The first one is online learning. According to Kojakaryo et al. 2014, most of the terms are online learning, e-learning, blended learning, web-based learning, virtual learning, computer-mediated learning have in common the ability to use a computer connected to a network. That's offer the possibility to learn from anywhere, anytime, in any routine, with any means. And the second is Google Classroom. Google Classroom is a Google Drive management system that supported blended learning environment to assign and to collect digital works, according to Keller 2015. This LMS has potential features to promote digital communication between teacher and student, and these features are cross-platform presence, user-friendly multimedia support, sharing of content, productive review, proper style, and integration from Google. And the next chapter, it is about research methodology. The first one, research design, and this study is case study. The second, the participant of this study was conducted in a class from one of the senior high school in Tasikmalaya. The class had used the Google Classroom in implementing online learning. The researcher only chose 4 students in one class consists 28 students learn by using Google Classroom in online learning setting. And the third is technique of collecting the data. The data were obtained through interview. In this research, semi-structured interview were chosen as an interview method. The researchers chosen this type because the question can be developed based on the participant answers and their current situation. The interview also were conducted in Bahasa Indonesia in order to avoid avoid misunderstanding. In analyzing the data, the researcher used the theory of Miles, Huberman, Saldana 2014, suggesting that the activity in the data analysis consists of three procedures. These activities are data reduction, data display, and conclusion drawing or verification. In short, the step in analyzing the data, the first one, the researcher collects the data from interview, then the researcher collects, identifies, and focuses on the data by referring to the formulation of the research problem. The second, after selecting the data, the researcher display or transcribe the data into a good sentence. The researcher will present the data by using original text in the form of narrative text. And the last, after displaying the data, the conclusion is drawn. The researcher concludes the main find from all the data that has been collected so that it will become clearly. The conclusion will be answer the formulation of the problem in the beginning. That's all from my presentation. Thanks for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.